Long ago, in the heart of Yoruba land, there was a kingdom called Ìlú Àṣà, the land of culture. It was a place where the red earth was rich and fertile, where the dendun drums spoke louder than words, and where the laughter of children danced on the evening breeze. At the very center of Ìlú Àṣà stood a mighty Ìrókò tree. Its roots dug deep into the earth like the wisdom of the ancestors, and its branches stretched wide, shading the marketplace where the people gathered. The villagers believed that as long as the roots of the Ìrókò were strong, their community would prosper. Every morning, women tied colorful Ìró wrappers around their waists, beads jingling on their ankles as they carried clay pots on their heads to fetch water from the stream. Their voices rose in sweet songs.
Orin ni iwa, orin lo and so alafia them.
Men went to the farms with cutlasses and hoes on their shoulders, whistling to the call of the flute. Children played Ayo Olapan under the shade and chased goats across the compounds, their laughter echoing like bells. On Onja Day Market Day, the square came alive. Palm oil glistened in calabashes, yam tubers stood tall in heaps, smoked fish lay on raffia trays, while cloth dyers displayed indigo adar patterns. Hunters boasted of their game, and griots sang praises of kings and ancestors. The Ìrókò tree spread its shade over them all, as if blessing the land. And above them all ruled Ọba Adéṣínà, a king whose name meant crown opens the way. He was a just and wise ruler, dressed in flowing agbada, with coral beads around his neck, and a bronze crown upon his head.
My children, Ìlú Àṣà is like this great Ìrókò tree. Its roots are our ancestors, its trunk is our unity, and its branches are our children. As long as we honor good character, respect, and hard work, our land will never wither.
So be it, so be it.
At night, when the moon shone bright like a silver drum in the sky, the villagers gathered around the fire. The air was filled with the smell of roasted maize, spicy pepper soup, and fresh palm wine. The bata drums spoke as elders told stories of Ahapa, the tortoise, of Aha, the trickster dog, and of Agun, shine like the morning sun. But just as the ancestors say, Agba kiwa loja ki ori omo tontunwo. An elder cannot be in the marketplace, and a child's head bends the wrong way. Even in the land of wisdom, arrogance had begun to creep in. The beloved king, Ọba Adéṣínà, was growing old. His eldest son, Adéwọlé, the crown has entered the house, was handsome and strong, but his heart was restless. He loved feasting, dancing, and boasting more than he loved listening to the counsel of the elders. While his father sat in the palace court, listening patiently to the grievances of farmers, hunters, and traders, Adéwọlé preferred to ride his horse around the village square, scattering dust as he passed, laughing loudly with his companions. One day, during a council meeting under the great Ìrókò tree, the king asked his son to sit among the elders.
My son, listen well. Leadership is not about the crown on your head, but the weight in your heart. A king who does not listen to his people is like a farmer who refuses to water his crops.
But Adewole only smiled and replied carelessly, Baba me, the people already love us. What use is endless listening when we can command?
The elders frowned, murmuring to one another. Among them, Baba Olusole, the oldest man in the land, leaned on his staff and said, Omo
tomoe tumoran lo injekotobi jubabalo. A child who learns wisdom and respect is the one who becomes greater than his father.
But Adéwọlé only laughed, pretending not to hear. Not long after, the sacred Ìrókò tree began to change. Its thick roots, once firm and unshakable, started to show cracks. Leaves that were always fresh and green began to dry at the tips. The birds that nested high in its branches flew away in flocks, and the marketplace felt strangely silent.
Ionian, have you seen the tree? Its roots are breaking.
It is nothing. The Ìrókò has stood for centuries. Nothing can harm it.
They did not know the tree was only a mirror of the people. That year, the people gathered for the Akore festival. Yam Harvest Festival. Drums thundered, masquerades danced, women wore beads and cowries, men beat the talking drums. There was joy everywhere, but beneath the music, elders noticed how disrespect was creeping in. Young men mocked the traditions, preferring to boast of their wealth. Traders cheated customers by adjusting their weighing stones. Even children began to ignore the teachings of their parents. The sacred Ìrókò tree shed another branch that night, falling loudly in the square, scattering the festival crowd. The drummers stopped. The masquerade froze. Silence covered the land.
My people, can you not see? The Ìrókò does not fall without a message. When the roots of a tree begin to decay, the branches cannot stand. If we do not return to respect, to unity, to honesty, this land will crumble.
But many laughed and went back to dancing. Only a few, especially the children, held her words close in their hearts. Thus, the first decay had begun. It was small, like a termite eating at the roots of a great tree. But the wise knew, once decay enters the roots, it spreads to the branches. And though the drums of Ìlú Àṣà still thundered, the echo of trouble had already been born.
Time passed, and the strength of Ìlú Àṣà began to crack. Not on the outside, but from within. The people were still many, the land was still fertile, but the spirit of unity, the trunk of their Ìrókò, was breaking.
You're the ones they call crooked politicians. You cheat me every market day. May Orissa judge between us.
Ah, do you want to fight me over peanuts? Am I your mate? If you don't like it, sell your things elsewhere.
Ajaga kan koba ajaga kanje, gabogbo ile abaye. When one rafter fights another, the whole house collapses. In the palace, the Igbimo Ijoye, Council of Chiefs, began to change too. Where once they had spoken for the people, now they spoke for themselves.
Egberon Oro O to Ayakan, 1,000 words cannot hide one lie. If we cheat our people, we rot this kingdom.
Let them buy their own.
Get out of my way!
You people, can't you see? The ancestors are speaking. You fight over nothing, while the roots of our land rot. Remember the proverb, if a tree forgets its roots, it cannot stand in silence for long.
Thus, the cracks spread from the palace to the market, from the festival to the family compound. The Ìrókò tree that once gave shelter now looked sickly, its leaves turning yellow, its shade shrinking.
Iya, why does the Ìrókò keep falling? Because when the roots of a tree begin to decay, the branches cannot stand. And when people forget respect, truth, and unity, the kingdom itself begins to fall.
The elders say, the death of a father brings ruin to the home. The death of a father often shakes the house. And so it was. The day came when Ọba Adéṣínà, the wise and gentle king, returned to the ancestors. His body was wrapped in fine white cloth, his head crowned with beads, and the drums of mourning filled the land. Women wailed, beating their chests. Men shaved their heads and poured libations of palm wine. Hunters fired Dane guns into the air to salute his passing.
Adéṣínà, King of Peace. Adéṣínà, the King of Peace, the king who ruled the land without worry.
The Ìrókò tree shed its heaviest branch that very night. The sound was like thunder, shaking the village awake. Elders whispered that the tree had followed its king into sorrow. After the mourning, the people looked to the king's sons. Tradition said the eldest, Adéwọlé, should inherit, but his younger brother, Adégòkè, the crown has been exalted, was loved for his humility and wisdom. The palace court became a battlefield of words.
The crown is mine by right. I am the first son. I will not bow to anyone.
The land is not ruled by pride. A king must listen to the people, not to his own hunger. If the Ìrókò tree bends too far, it will break.
The chiefs split into factions, some shouting for Adéwọlé, others for Adégòkè. Soon insults turned into blows, and blood was shed on the palace floor. Thus, brother fought brother, and the kingdom began to crumble. Thus, brother fought brother, and the kingdom began to crumble. Without unity, the land itself turned against them. The rains refused to fall. Yams rotted in the ground, streams dried up, and palm trees bore no fruit. Families that once shared food now locked their doors at night. Children's bellies swelled with hunger. Mothers wept. Some chiefs hoarded food in secret huts, selling it only to those who could pay with gold or slaves. Even neighbors betrayed one another.
O people of Yoruba, can you not see? When the roots of a tree rot, even its sweetest fruit turns bitter. Our unity has died, and so the land itself refuses us blessings.
But again many mocked her, blinded by hunger and greed.
Ifa says the ancestors are angry. The Ìrókò is dying because the people no longer honor truth. Sacrifice is needed, a white ram, cola nuts, palm oil, and unity among brothers.
The villagers gave the ram, the cola, and the oil, but unity, they refused. The sacrifice was wasted. The drums of the festival beat weakly, no longer carrying joy but sorrow. Even the Egungun masquerades danced half-heartedly, as though the ancestors themselves had turned away. Then came the storm. Dark clouds swallowed the sky. Lightning struck again and again. The Ìrókò tree groaned, its roots tearing in the earth. With a deafening crack, half of the sacred tree collapsed into the square, crushing stalls and scattering the people in terror.
My people, did I not tell you? When the roots of a tree begin to decay, it spreads death to the branches. Look at our Ìrókò. Look at our land. We are dying because we have forgotten who we are.
Her words rang like thunder. But the people, beaten by hunger and fear, only wept in silence. Thus, Ìlú Àṣà, once a land of joy and unity, fell into darkness. The Ìrókò tree, once a symbol of strength, now stood broken and hollow. The kingdom was weak, its people divided, and only a faint hope remained, that from the ashes of ruin, new roots might one day grow.
Small compound at the edge of the village lived Morkunrin Olátúnjí. Wealth has been reborn, the son of a poor farmer. He was not royal, not a chief's child, but he had something greater: humility, wisdom, and ears that listened. While others mocked ya Arakaryu, Olátúnjí sat by her fire every night, listening to her proverbs. He carried her calabash of water, fetched firewood for her, and learned the stories of the ancestors.
My child, the Ìrókò may fall, but its seed never dies. A new tree grows when the earth receives care. You must be that seed.
One night, Olátúnjí dreamed. In his dream, he saw the fallen Ìrókò tree, but beside it, a small seedling sprouted, glowing with light.
The old ones are not gone. The new will carry the land.
The old ones are not gone. The new will carry the land. When he woke, he knew what he must do. Olátúnjí went to the square where the broken Ìrókò lay. He beat a drum, calling the people.
Children of Ìlú Àṣà, hear me!
Children of Ìlú Àṣà, hear me. The villagers gathered, weary, hungry, broken. Chiefs looked ashamed. Children clung to their mothers, and the marketplace smelled of dust, not of yam or palm oil.
We have fought one another. We have betrayed the truth. But the ancestors do not hate us. They wait for us. The Ìrókò has fallen, but its root is still in the ground. If we plant new seeds with unity, honesty, and respect, our land will bloom again.
The people murmured. Some doubted. But Radia Arikare stepped forward, lifting her staff.
This boy speaks with the voice of the ancestors. Will you not listen?
So shall it be, so shall it be.
A great gathering was called. Hunters brought wild game. Farmers offered fresh yam tubers. Women carried calabashes of palm wine and bowls of beans. Drummers beat the bata and gangan, not for war, but for healing. The Babalawo cast the Ifa chain again. And this time he smiled.
Ifa says the ancestors have forgiven. Let us plant the new seed.
Together the people dug a hole beside the broken Ìrókò and planted a small seedling. They poured libations of palm wine, broke kola nut, and prayed in one voice.
May its roots go deep, may its branches spread wide, may our land be renewed.
Seasons passed. The seedling grew taller, its leaves fresh and green, its roots strong and deep. The rains returned, yam barns filled again. Children's laughter returned to the compounds. The chiefs, humbled, served the people with honesty. Families shared meals once more. The drums of Ìlú Àṣà thundered louder than ever, carrying joy across the land. And Olátúnjí, though not born of royal blood, was crowned Ba Olátúnjí, King of Renewal. He ruled not with pride, but with humility, always remembering the fall of the first Ìrókò. And so the people of Ìlú Àṣà learned the truth of the proverb. When the roots of a tree begin to decay, the branches cannot stand. But when new roots are planted with wisdom, the branches will bloom again. The Ìrókò tree rose once more. The kingdom was reborn, and the story lives on.